International Media TV. Television that listens to you.
Hi, I'm Johnnie Burrell. Welcome to the program.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Governor of California, the Honorable Edmund G. Brown Jr., and First Lady Ann Gust Brown. And now, please welcome the 12th class of the California Hall of Fame inductees, Joan Baez, Belva Davis, Ed Lee, represented by his daughter Brianna Lee, Thomas Keller, Arlene Bloom, Fernando Valenzuela, Robert Redford, and Nancy McFadden, represented by her brother Bill McFadden.
Belva Davis, friend of mine. I've known you for years and years, and it's an absolute delight to be able to introduce you tonight. Belva Davis was born into a deeply segregated South where Black Americans were denied every privilege of citizenship. Facing the specter of Jim Crow, Belva's father moved the family from Louisiana to the promise of freedom that California offered. Even here, she found a society that pushed women and Black Americans down. But Belva Davis would not be kept down. Fighting blatant discrimination, she pursued her dreams. She became the first Black television anchorwoman in the West, working for a network-affiliated station, and she helped change the face and focus of TV news. In a career spanning half a century, Belva reported on the most explosive stories of the era, including the free speech movement, the birth of the Black Panthers, the People's Temple cult that ended in a mass suicide at Jonestown, the assassinations of San Francisco Mayor George Moscone and Supervisor Harvey Milk, and the onset of the AIDS epidemic. During her career, she soldiered in the trenches of the battle for racial equality and brought stories of Black Americans out of the shadows and into the light of day. Meanwhile, Belva worked to ensure that marginalized people would not have to struggle as she had struggled. For more than a decade, she served as the National Equal Employment Opportunities Chair for AFTRA, the broadcast union, where she advocated for women, minorities, and people with disabilities in the television industry. For nearly 20 years, she hosted This Week in Northern California at KQED, the nation's most watched public television station. And in 2011, she published Never in My Wildest Dreams, A Black Woman's Life in Journalism. It's an apt title for the memoir of a woman who had smashed so many barriers to succeed against the stacked deck of discrimination. Recipient of the Lifetime Achievement Award, International Women's Media Foundation, National Association of Black Journalists Hall of Fame, Panetta Institute Award for Public Service. I'm exhausted. Lifetime Achievement Award, Northern California chapter of the National Association of Television Arts and Sciences. And how about this, which I think is amazing, winner of a whopping 8 Grammy Awards. It's an honor to welcome trailblazing journalist Belva Davis to the California Hall of Fame.
Well, there are so many people here that I know and have watched them grow up. If I've been covering politics for 40-some years, there's hardly anybody in here who's been elected that I haven't met sometime, somewhere. And I thank you so much for the nice honors, descriptions capturing it all. And I thank this museum for these wonderful exhibits of people that I know and people that I love. There is so much to be grateful to California for in who I am today. I was born in Monroe, Louisiana. There's no way I could be the woman who heard those credits, then married to her name. Because the Belva Davis of Louisiana would never have had a chance to do all of those things that I was allowed to do, happy to do, blessed to do. So my thanks to all of you for that privilege. And California is a place where dreams are born, but where they're also executed by individuals in love with ideas. Ideas, basically, to help somebody else. And that has been my life's mission. So thank you. It's my pleasure now to offer a dedication to a man who I highly expected, knew for years, thought he was just a quiet guy, and then they elected him mayor. The city with America's most iconic Chinatown took a long time to elevate an Asian American to its top political spot. But when San Francisco finally elected Ed Lee as mayor, it chose a leader that lifted the gold rush capital to new heights. Ed Lee did not come by the mayor's job cheaply. He was invested, and he invested himself in San Francisco. Governance for decades became his goal, first serving as director of the city's Human Rights Commission, then for 2 decades as San Francisco's purchasing manager, and then public works director and city administrator. Ed Lee's deep understanding of the city and city government, coupled with his passion for social justice, made him a perfect fit for his city. In 2011, Ed accepted an interim mayoral appointment to replace Lieutenant Governor-elect Gavin Newsom, and later that year was elected for a full term. The successful Ed Lee won a second term in 2015, running with only token opposition. Mayor Lee oversaw a San Francisco that was the economic envy of the planet, birthing billion-dollar startups and becoming the center of the social media and cloud computing industries, creating enormous wealth throughout the city. He helped spur that tremendous economic growth, revitalizing the mid-market district and investing heavily in small business and neighborhood commercial corridors. While backing the business that fueled the city, booming economy, Ed Lee, a former civil rights attorney for low-income tenants and immigrants, never forgot the less fortunate. And when I first met him, that's where he was, out there on the streets, fighting for housing for men who were too really and truly older and not as informed about politics as he was, and very few other people would have been. So he's stepped up to their defense. Far from the glittering arcades of mansions and shiny cars and avant-garde restaurants, Ed Lee also governed a city with housing and homeless challenges as steep as the San Francisco hills. His true passion as mayor was building affordable housing, creating the largest affordable housing fund in San Francisco's history, completely transforming all of San Francisco's 3,500 units of public housing and spurring housing development in all neighborhoods. At the time of his unexpected passing, he was opening support shelters and had created a dedicated department to centralize the city's efforts in its fight against homelessness. Ed Lee left a legacy as the city's first Asian American mayor, as a friend of San Francisco's innovative businesses, and as a champion in the city's neediest neighborhoods. It is an honor to welcome Mayor Ed Lee to the California Hall of Fame. Accepting for him is his daughter, Brianna. Brianna.
Thank you so much. Just want to say that in what's been a very emotional and a difficult year for my family, this is such an amazing time and place and honor to be have him recognized, especially among this class here.